What is up? It's the Cosmic.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
What is up, everybody? Today is July 27th, 2020, and it's currently 1:21 p.m. And I am 1:21 p.m. my time. It's 2:21 Eastern, which is the only time that really counts whenever it's stock market trading. And I'm just gonna going over a little bit of live analysis of stocks of what I'm looking at to play going into after hours. And two stocks I really have in mind are Mara, because Bitcoin has been on a tear today, and I'll pull up the Bitcoin chart here in a second. But it's consolidating up off its highs. It's, a classic high of day VWAP hold, holding way above VWAP, and it's holding above your EMA 50 as well. And then you go over here and you're looking at your Heikin-Ashi, and it's just straight consolidation off its highs. And there's no real decisiveness coming in yet. So there's a lot of tension being built up right here within the 160, 68, 160 range within the last, 15, 20 minutes. And it's also reflected right here in the CCI, how it's strangling the around the positive line, and the RSI is just built up right there in the middle, and even the MACD is just all straight consolidation. So I'm ready to see a massive run on either way. And I mean massive, I'm maybe looking 5 to 10% run. I really want it to break the 170 range. So I'm just kind of looking at the level 2 as well, and seeing that we do have a wall of sellers right here at 166 at 16k, now 167 at 19k, 169 25k, 170 is another 18k. Like, there's just a whole lot of sellers going on, and it is very compacted right here. And just looking at the total volume it's done today, it's done 60 million in volume, which is very, very impressive, especially for this stock that very rarely sees any attention. I know one of my colleagues was holding the stock for a while, waiting for a pop, and it had a couple of pops about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was lucky enough to get out of there with a profit. I took my L. I didn't want to keep holding it after I bought in. It was a very small loss because I bought in for positive on a spike early June, and then I chased the spike a little bit and sold right after the spike failed for like $1 or $2 loss. I was like, nah, this is a gamble. And now it's running because Bitcoin is popping off again, which is awesome. Bitcoin eventually was doing it. It was going to happen, and I was kind of waiting to see when it would start, just because I wanted confirmation. And a lot of people be like, oh, why not just get in before it goes off? I'm like, well, I want confirmation that it is going to go off. If I get in before it goes off, there's no guarantee that it's going to go up or down. That's why I don't want to hold through earnings. Or if a breakout is happening, I want to make sure it's a confirmed breakout. So like right around here, if I wanted to get in on Mara and I caught it almost right at the exact right time whenever I wanted to get in, because once it broke this morning high of 157, you just wanted to wait for these consolidation zones. These are the perfect times to get in. It breaks it, and it comes down, and it proves that can hold 157. And then that's where you set your risk at its previous resistance, like 154. if that's a small risk that you want to set. If you want a little bit of a larger risk, then I would set it right here around 148. But whenever I got in one early this morning, just a very couple of shares right around the 136 range, just as a yellow. But in the afternoon, I started noticing the pattern and the trend, which is a classic Dux intraday pattern where it goes up, down, then back up, sets a higher low, sideways action, perk right before 1 o'clock, and then it typically keeps running. And that means your max risk should be this level. He sets his max risk at this level right here. After this perk gets confirmed, max risk is here. First risk is here. So, or right here, the pre-perk high. So right now it's straight consolidation. It's forming a wedge, as you can see right there, the nice little triangle there. And it's tension. I'm just waiting for that volume to hit, baby. Once that volume hits, it's going to explode. So let me pull up Bitcoin, BTC, USD market. Right now it's 10,000. We'll go to the chart. This was the big milestone for it. They wanted to see how much, if it could break the 10,000. That was the big hoopla about BTC. If my computer decides to load, that'd be awesome. And I believe this weekend it did. It actually did break 10,000. So let's go to the 7-day. Which the next big milestone now is 15,000. Alright. So when was this? July 26th, 2020 was the day the whole Bitcoin blew up. It's the time Bitcoin went to the moon. But yeah, I believe it's going to keep running. It's a big deal for it. And it's unlike last time. I believe if we go here to the 3-month, I believe right before the halving, Bitcoin decided to go ahead and take off, go on a tear. And it approached 10,000. Yeah, right here. Beginning of June. That is when Mara's last run was. That's when Bitcoin's last big run was, up to above 10,000. And it's just broken past that resistance. And as you can see, when something breaks past resistance on volume, which trust me, there's a lot of volume because I get nothing but messages upon messages upon messages of, you should get into crypto, you should do Bitcoin, you should get into Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's in the plan right now. Focusing on some other things. You can't flood your mind with all one thing. So I have no idea what that is. I apologize about that. Alright, so anyways, Bitcoin's running. It's awesome. It's going to, Mara's going to run in sympathy with it. It's all just consolidation right now. It's finally coming up even from the negative CCI, and that is a good sign for me. And the Heiken Ashi is showing indecision with these 2 wicks on this one candle right here. And this one is slight indecision, but it's more bearish. This one is more bearish. So I'm in. My average is 150, as you can see. I am currently in some losing positions because these are longer terms, like XBomb, Maximum, SRNE, and Mark. Got in too high on an average, but I want to keep my position where it's at because I'm pretty happy where the position is. And those are honestly, like I said, long-term positions. You don't get scared, don't get shook out of your positions if you have faith in the company and you're not trying to day trade. And that's the thing. Like, some of these companies are worth having faith in, some of these are not. It's worth just playing the volatility. And a lot of people, and it's going to be the side of the spectrum on everybody too. So if I say something negative about a stock and your whole portfolio is only about that one stock, of course you're going to be a little bit salty that I talked bad about it. But that's just what I see as a day trader. Even these are just trades. These are long-term swing trades, but they're not investments. Investments is IRS defines it as anything over a year. These aren't investments by any means. These are all still trading. I'm a trader. I'm not an investor. Say it with me. I'm a trader, not an investor. 2 different things. So if you don't like what I preach, if you don't think that the charts are important, whenever, yeah, it actually is very, very important to know your charts. You cannot day trade without 2 things, a chart and a level 2. If you don't have these 2, you screw all these technical analysis. If you don't have these 2, you don't know what you're looking at, then you're not going to be a successful day trader at all. And that's day trader. Let's say it again. Let's emphasize DAY trader. So, with that being said, my next stock that I'm looking at, is NKLA. NKLA's on a tear. They had some positive news recently. It looked like they were about to confirm a breakout right here. But I don't know, man. And the volume's dwindled down. Let's see what happens in power hour. Power hour. Volume should be picking up here in about 30 minutes. 28 minutes was when 3 o'clock hits. And honestly, if it breaks 35, I can see it running back to, its 40 highs, because it's down a lot. It's down a lot. Like, look, it's down a whole lot. But it did fill a gap. So who knows? It filled the gap. It didn't fill the bigger gap. But it's something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on, this level 2. What's the total volume? 26 million? That's not bad. It's not bad whatsoever. See, Mara's flirting with wanting to set a buy signal whenever the CCI breaks over the negative 100. That's typically my ideal buy signal. And it just did. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it's confirmed. Because it's still flirting with it. Let's put this on a 2-minute, the same as the candlestick. So the 2-minute is showing that it's not broken over either. It's not broken over. this one. If we go back to both the 1 minute. One minute says it's wanting to start to run. 1 minute candlestick. Seeing if it's setting a peak down here on the bottom. One thing I am kind of salty about is Tesla. Oh my goodness. I expected the whole market to continue crashing today, but no. No. And honestly, it's because I can see why. It's because we got earnings, big tech earnings coming up this week. If you watch my weekly watch list, you would have known. You would have known. But anyways, fam, that's essentially what I look at whenever I'm looking at these stocks. I know I didn't put any orders in right now or play any action because it is, you know, what I look at for pre-power hour. But thank y'all so much for watching, fam. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.